Hi everyone. So, as many of you already know, I mean, how could you have missed it looking at my last upload? Um, I've recently begun the transition from male to female. The following video is kind of a coming out for, an official coming out anyway, for fans who didn't already know, or if haven't watched the last upload. And this is going to be the first episode in a series of transitional diaries that I'll do monthly, bi-monthly, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, basis. But this is completely unscripted. I didn't write anything for this. I wanted to be candid and open and honest with all of you. So much of my own transition was influenced and inspired by these kinds of videos from other transgender individuals, and it prepared me for it, reassured me, gave me hope, and I'm hoping maybe I can do the same for other people at home who haven't had that experience yet. So, some details going into it. Being transgender or gender dysphoria is experiencing extreme dissatisfaction with the gender you were born in. There's a number of theories as to what causes it. One of the most prevalent being that it occurred in the womb, where just one way or another hormones got mixed around, and while chromosomes determine your physical sex, hormones affect your brain pattern, and all of it. So much of it is just the chemicals in your brain. Growing up, there wasn't really a dialogue about any of this yet, so there wasn't a dialogue. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if something was wrong with me growing up. I always knew something was different. I always knew I wanted to be different. I needed to be different. I dealt with a lot of self-loathing issues, but because nobody talked about it, and where I live, people weren't allowed to talk about it, because of that, I just thought I was crazy. I thought I was the only person feeling this way. I didn't understand it. As I got older and it kind of became a topic, and I first started hearing the term transgender, I knew right away that had to be it. I knew that was it. But that was when I was around 15 or 16, and I didn't come out until May of this year to friends and family, which means I put myself through the knowing and the waiting process for about 10 years, and I can't stress enough, don't do that to yourselves. My self-loathing got worse, not better. I sank into a terrible depression, anxiety, all that. I dealt with thoughts of suicide for a while, and bottling all that up is just mental poison. I was remarkably fortunate to have very, very supportive friends and family. When I came out publicly in July, it was unreal, the amount of support I received. I started going to therapy in May, soon after coming out, and my therapist is fantastic. Find a therapist you know is going to understand what you're going through. Even if your doctor doesn't require you to see a therapist before they start you on the hormones, I strongly recommend having a therapist anyway, especially one who understands. It does so much for you. So she's made my life so much easier and made me so much happier. And then find yourself a doctor who will do the same. I'm gonna put in the description of this video down below. I'm gonna have links to the websites for the woman I see for therapy and the clinic I go to for my care, so that you guys can, if you're local, you can reach out to these people. They'll help you. They also have resources to help with networking and support groups and stuff like that. And I'm open for that too. You can reach me via Facebook. You can email me. You can you can get in touch with me any way you think you can. Anywhere you can find me, you can get in touch with me. And if you need something to or someone, I should say, to understand you, and just hear you, or to talk you through what you're going through, I want to be that person for you. Anyway, so the last few months have been rocky. I live in a remarkably religious community, very conservative, very old-fashioned, and as you can imagine, that presents its own scares and dangers. Not to trash talk the entire community, I know a great deal of people in it that are supportive and that I love very dearly. But as a whole, the community can be dangerous for people in our situation. You know, just snide looks, harassment, threats, stuff like that. I haven't dealt with anything physically yet, but I've also been extremely cautious, and I can't stress that enough. If you're in one of these kind of communities that isn't going to understand you, or that you fear might not understand you, find people who do. Go out in groups. If you do have to go out alone, make sure you pre-plan where you're going. You know, take open roads. I know being out in public like that is scary, but make sure you do that, because they'll be witnesses if someone does try anything, and you'll be safer in public if you are alone than you will trying to avoid public with neighborhoods and alleyways. So anyway, the good news is a month ago I started my hormones, and it's incredible. I already have started feeling changes, though they're not particularly physical. My therapist says she can see them. I can't, but I also see myself every day, so it's such a gradual change that I don't really notice. But let me walk you through what I'm on so you know what to expect. Obviously, I'm doing male to female. The first thing I'm on is spironolactone, which is, I take 2 a day. It's 100 milligram tablet, and they're basically anti-androgens, testosterone blockers. And then also on finasteride. Finasteride is not technically for hormonal treatments, but it does help promote head hair growth, I mean. So if you're trying to grow out your hair, they might recommend it. I've always had long hair, so obviously not too much of a problem, but I also don't want to lose it. So, and then estradiol. This is the magical stuff. This is the estrogen that's going to be doing most of the work, because my body doesn't produce it, or doesn't produce enough of it. I'm not a doctor. And the last thing I'm on is are D vitamins. Now, D vitamins are just because when you're on the hormones, you will experience a D vitamin deficiency, and the medication will, the vitamins will help make up for that, because no matter how much sunlight or vitamins you take in, you're going to be running low. Changes I've noticed: my skin has gotten softer. And my chest has started to become tender. That's something you got to be ready for, because it will start to actually hurt, and it will become sensitive. So after about a month, you're going to start wearing padding, or like training or sports bras for support and protection. My next appointment at the clinic is in 3 months, where we'll do blood work to make sure the meds are working and decide whether or not we need to adjust my dose. Again, find a therapist and make sure you don't self-medicate. You can get hormones over the counter, but please talk to a professional. It's important. You can risk blood clotting and blood thinning. You can risk depression and anxiety. And those things, as someone who's lived with them for a very long time, you don't want them. And if you have them, you don't want them getting worse. So please see a professional about all of this. Vocal coaching is hard. If you're not paying attention to it, your voice slips, which I'm sure I did 1,000 times in this video because it's not scripted and I'm doing it in one take. What else do I really have to say? I can say my own depression and anxiety has gotten much better since coming out and starting the medication. It feels like it's changing, and it just does wonders. For people out there who aren't transgender, but have friends who are, do your best to be as supportive as possible. And I don't mean that in make a big deal out of it. I mean that in make it as not a big deal as possible. And do your best to adjust how you're addressing them and to treat them the way they obviously want to be treated. But make it normal. It doesn't have to be a big deal. Just reach out to these people. Make them feel welcome and wanted and loved. So many people out there don't have it as lucky as I do, where you have that family, you have those friends. If you know someone who is transgender, they might not be getting the support they need at home or with other friends, and you might be all they have. So reach out to them and take care of them. They need you. For the other transgender people out there, surround yourself with people you know are going to love and support you. That support network is so important. And it should be the first thing you do before any of these steps, to make sure you have people who are going to be there for you while you're going through it. Because just because it is the next step forward doesn't mean things get easier. In many ways they get harder, and you need those people in your life. All I can really say to wrap this up is, like I said before, speak with professionals about this, find people who will take care of you, and just take it slow. It's a long process. You got to be patient. Obviously, I'm very early in, but it's just you got to be patient. You got to really want it. Like I said before, I'm open to contacts if people need that support in their life. I want to be there for you. On a lighter note, in addition to all of this, I'm also a leather craftsman. I do armor, clothing, and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to be starting up another channel where I do tutorials and stuff on how I do that. And then, obviously with my video game channel, this channel, I'll be starting some solo Let's Plays, which will be more about helping me exercise and train my voice, but in a fun way. I'll be playing video games and interacting with you guys. So hopefully that'll be fun, and hopefully you guys watch those when they start coming out. So Halloween is right around the corner. I hope that you all have an amazing Halloween, and obviously the holidays to follow I hope are incredible too. Take care of yourselves out there, be safe, and I love you, and as always, peace.